And welcome back to the Steve Malzberg Show, ladies and gentlemen. And I am very happy to say that we're joined right now by Christine O'Donnell, author, former Delaware U.S. Senate Republican nominee. And she joins us to talk about something that really, again, the thing, and welcome, Christine. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And happy Valentine's Day.
Likewise, you too.
Thank you. Well, the thing is, your head spins because, there's so much constantly going on with this administration that there's someone in my position, your head spins because you try to give everything fair justice and talk about everything and you lose sight of the IRS scandal when you're talking about Benghazi or when you're talking about this or you're talking about that. But it is one of the most egregious abuses of power, as it's turned out. Congressman Camp said yesterday that 100% of the audits that the IRS did of groups were done to conservative groups. Now, that is a remarkably frightening statement.
Right. Well, in my case, as hopefully your viewers know, just a little background, mine went beyond an audit. And on the very day that I announced my campaign, I was told by a federal investigator, an investigator with TIGTA, that somebody who worked for the Department of Revenue accessed my tax records, and on that same day, an erroneous tax lien was filed with Newcastle County, my Democratic opponent's office, by the way. And then that tax lien was circulated all over the media. 2 weeks later, the IRS explained it away as a computer glitch, but it was still on my credit report. It was still all over the media. Until about a year ago when the federal investigator came and told me what was going on. And since then, Senator Grassley and the U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee has joined the investigation. Now the Ways and Means Committee has joined the investigation, but we're getting stonewalled every step of the way. And that's the frustrating thing. Justice Holder knows that there's criminal activity going on. The Department of Justice has acknowledged that criminal activity is going on, and yet they are refusing to prosecute. So, Steve, I'm glad that people like you are at least talking about this, because the more we don't let them get away with pushing it on the back burner, the more that they're going to be forced to do something. This is blatant criminal activity, and people, if the tables were turned, they're already—
Oh, my gosh. Oh, forget it. If the tables— They would be impeaching the Republican president, without a doubt. I am so confident of that. So right. During the campaign, your confidential tax information was misused during your Senate campaign. House Ways and Means, as you say, is investigating it. And you're talking about two Democratic congressmen, Gerald Connolly and Matthew Cartwright, who you believe are just looking to delay this every way they possibly can, correct?
Absolutely. These two congressmen, these two Democratic congressmen, recently said that Russell George, the head of TIGTA, is acting in a partisan way. And I just have to laugh at that, because when the investigators first came to me and told me that, on the very same day this quote-unquote computer glitch happened was the same day that someone accessed my records and this tax lien happened, I wanted to find out what led them to draw that conclusion. And I FOIA'd my records, Freedom of Information Act. I FOIA'd all their memos, all their correspondence and emails, and that's where the runaround started. First, I got a phone call from the woman who processes the email saying, there's several boxes, where do you want them? We're shipping them out tomorrow. And I said, I'll go pick them up. DC is only a couple hours away, there's that many boxes. And then 24 hours later, she called me and said, well, it's only one page. I'll just email it to you. And that one page essentially said that my FOIA request was denied.
Wow.
What had happened in those 24 hours was that the U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee investigators contacted TIGTA to let them know that they were joining the investigation. That's the only thing that changed. So Russell George personally told Senator Grassley that at least some of the documents in my request, I had a right to them, and that he would personally make sure that I got them. Fast forward 10 months later, I still don't have them. So I truly believe that these two congressmen are simply trying to create another diversion. You know, they're trying to wave a red flag and say, look over here, to give the media something to focus on so that they don't pay attention to the blatant criminal activity, to the stonewalling, and to the running around that's going on. People have to report on this because it's a major story. So they're going to report on this, you know, trivial issue accusing someone of being partisan. And to me, it's a waste of tax dollars. They should be ashamed of themselves.
Well, Christine, what are the odds, do you think, that you'll ever find out who was responsible for getting your information illegally?
Well, we do know who. The very day the first investigator came to me, he told me it was a gentleman named David Smith. And but what we don't know is why David Smith did it. He said he was curious and just peeked into my tax records to see if I was guilty of any criminal activity, which is ridiculous. Both he and his boss told the Senate investigators that they never suspected me of any criminal activity. And he just, one day wanted to see, just randomly decided. And see, that's another thing that shows you partisanship, because it's a bullcrap excuse. And if any Republican tried to get away with that, oh, I'm merely curious, you know, it wouldn't fly. Because, by the way, even though you're claiming to have an excuse, it's still illegal what you did. You had no right or reason or probable cause to suspect me of anything, so you had no authority to go into my tax records.
Right, of course not.
Right around the same time this erroneous tax lien popped up and went all over the media.
Let me ask you, first of all, tell the folks, I mean, are you looking, do you have a fund for this? Is this something that's costing you a lot of money? I mean, I know you're working through Congress, but still in all, it's got to be costly.
I have put in, well, you know, thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars of my own money into this, because, and so we're trying to raise a legal offense fund, because there are legal maneuvers that we can do. And we've got Cleta Mitchell, who is the best and the brightest of the—
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Attorneys. You know, I joke and say that she swats flies with a sledgehammer. So there's a lot of things that we can do, especially getting those records. But right now, they're hiding behind something called Rule 6103, saying that David Smith is a taxpayer. Rule 6103 says that no IRS employee can release the private tax information of a taxpayer. So by me saying, why did David Smith go into my records and then they got leaked, they're protecting his privacy.
Right, yeah, that's ridiculous. That is insane. That is totally insane. The world turned upside down. All right, let me ask you this. You know, I've always admired you because of what you went through, and it's sad that I have to say that. But you know, any conservative woman, we know what they've been hurling at Clarence Thomas lately, and Tim, the senator from the only black senator on the Republican side in the Senate, whose name I'm just drawing a blank on his last name for some.
Senator Scott, right?
Scott, yes, thank you very much. Anyway, I mean, it's open season on any conservative woman, Hispanic, African American, because the media feels that they don't fit the stereotype. So they're the racists, they're the bigots. So I just admire what you went through. I mean, when you hear someone like Larry King, who told me the other day, there's no media bias. He hasn't seen media bias in 57 years, not once. I mean, how do you react to that? Because you've been through it.
Well, fortunately, you know, I ran a grassroots campaign, and you realize that the people can see right through that baloney. You know, people like Larry King, and even President Obama, when he says there's not a smidgen of corruption. And
the IRS thing, yeah.
Right, and just a few boneheaded decisions. Okay, then you don't know what's going on, and you have an incapable staff that is not properly briefing you, or they're trying to be like a Svengali, that whatever they say, people will just blindly believe.
Right.
I've found that when we directly reach the voters and the people and bypass those typical channels, people are on our side. People agree with us. And that's why, you know, shameless plug, we need donations. Please go to ChristinePack.com, because we have to fight. We have to bypass these normal channels and use everything in our legal power to expose this, because it's blatant corruption. And as long as people like Larry King can say everything is fair, and as long as President Obama can keep saying there's not a smidgen of corruption at the IRS, when his own Department of Justice has already admitted that it's illegal, when more than one federal agency is investigating a fraudulent tax lien. It was a proper tax lien because it was filed with Newcastle County, but it was definitely malicious and definitely intended to destroy my campaign. How can Barack Obama say that there's nothing going on?
Well, he's the man who told us we could keep our doctor on insurance. We have to remember who we're talking about. Hey, Christine, great to talk to you. I'm sure we'll speak again. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your giving this attention.
You're welcome. That's Christine O'Donnell, ladies and gentlemen, former Delaware U.S. Senate Republican nominee. And I mean, it's a horrific experience. And imagine the IRS protecting the citizen who may have broken the law in going into her tax returns. They're protecting his privacy because he's a taxpayer and not Christine O'Donnell's privacy. It's just, like I said, it's the world turned upside down. All right, folks, it has been a wonderful week, and next week we'll have a best of show on Monday, President's Day. Is that President's Day? I believe that's President's Day. Yep. So enjoy the weekend. We'll see you 3 to 6 Eastern Time on Newsmax TV. Steve Malzberg.